Hey guys, it's Sean from Rainstick here. I'm super excited to get going on a Rainstick shower installation. We're gonna bring you start to finish on an entire project. Let's get started.
In the box, you'll find the Rainstick appliance, hose is attached, the shower arm and head, a handheld shower, wall anchors, hose quick connectors, the reservoir, and lastly, pump intake manifold and micron screen. You'll want to ensure components have been accounted for and no damages have occurred during shipment. The first step is to decide which wall your Rainstick will be installed on. Next, determine the center point of the shower stall, taking into account required offsets, surrounding wall coverings, membrane layers, and wall tile thickness. Measure and mark the center point location on both the subfloor and vertical surface. Vertically measure 37¼ inches or 946 millimeters up the wall and mark its location. Using a support, in our case 2x4 lumber, bridge the two wall studs at 37¼ inches and create a solid backer to route the water and power provisions. Starting at the edge where the subfloor meets the wall, re-measure 37¼ inches. From the center point location, mark the newly added horizontal support. This mark indicates where to align the notched cutout of the Rainstick provided utility bracket. Trace around the holes for the water and power provisions. Use a hole saw to create an opening for the three provisions and route the water and power to their designated locations. Next, install the wall covering on the vertical mounting wall. Use a hole saw to accommodate the openings for the water and power provisions. To properly install the reservoir, dry fit it first to the subfloor, taking care to align its back edge midpoint to the center line of install. Ensure that it is fully aligned and flush against the wall before tracing the reservoir drain location on the subfloor surface. Use a 5-inch hole saw to create an opening on the traced location of the subfloor. Align the P-trap from below. This will be an important step as there is a connection to the reservoir drain. To prepare the reservoir, use plumber's putty to seal the top drain cover. Underneath, place a rubber gasket first and then an anti-tear ring before twisting onto the reservoir. Please check the link below for helpful videos. Ensure that the reservoir is level to the subfloor before solvent welding to the P-trap below. It is okay for the sewer drain feature to sit partially below the subfloor. In some versions of this reservoir, you can anchor its back flange in place using wood screws. Pre-measure and cut the plywood sheet to create an opening for the reservoir. Next, using a compensation layer of 3/4 inch, raise the effective subfloor surrounding the reservoir. Secure the plywood sheet to the subfloor. Cut to size and place the prefabricated sloped shower tray on top of the plywood sheet and waterproof the shower walls using waterproof membrane. Install a shower curb around the shower base where applicable. Pre-measure and cut the membrane to create an opening for the reservoir on its vertical edge. Ensure that all levels tightly hug the edges of the reservoir. We recommend using painter tape to cover all visible sides to protect it from steps to come. For more information on this step, please check the link below for helpful videos. Using a sealing and bonding compound, fill and smooth gaps around the reservoir. Place waterproof strip seals along the exposed edge to ensure a proper seal. Now that the shower area has been fully waterproofed, it's ready for tile. This project, we're using a 24x24 inch tile, 8 millimeters thick. The reservoir is designed to be installed with a tile up to 12 millimeters thick. This ensures that the reservoir catchment remains unobstructed. Pre-measure and use a 1-inch ceramic hole saw to create openings for the water and power provisions on the vertical mounting surface. Locate the utility bracket in the hardware bag and route the water and power provisions through the designated locations. Mount the utility bracket on the tiled surface using a sealing and bonding compound, and cut the hot and cold water lines to 2 inches from the wall using a tube cutter. Now for this next step. Gently lift RainStick out of the box and relocate it onto a soft surface. Remove both top and bottom enclosures, set them aside. With your buddy to help, gently lift and dry fit RainStick onto the tiled surface. Use the back top ledge of the reservoir to vertically level and center RainStick to the wall. Mark the 4 anchoring locations before laying RainStick back down on the soft surface. Use a 1/2 inch tile drill bit to create holes for the toggle bolts. Once ready, locate the 4 toggle bolts and tightly secure their anchoring wings to each hole. Gently lift RainStick to place it back on the wall and align it to the anchoring locations. Use the bolts and washers to secure RainStick onto the wall. Next, remove the cover to the watertight junction box found in the system to complete the field electrical wiring. RainStick requires a GFCI protected circuit, and it is important to follow all electrical code requirements in your region. Place the junction box cover back on and fasten the screws. Using plumber's tape, connect the home supply lines by pushing them onto the connectors. Locate the pump intake and gently pull out the attached micron screen plug. At the bottom of the intake, guide the sensor wire found in RainStick down and across the back of the intake. Pressure fit the sensor wire securely into its holder. Locate both hoses, both gray and silicone, and route them into the top of the pump intake. Locate the 2 horizontal fittings on the pump intake and align each to their designated location on the pump. Check that both blue collar locks have been secured and are firmly pressed in place. Reattach the micron screen to the pump intake by pressing and locking it firmly into place. The sensor will have to meet an opposing magnet to ensure successful connection. Inside of RainStick, locate and find a wire marked C. This wire will connect to an opposing wire marked C located at the back bottom of the enclosure. Locate the dispensing compartment hose and connect to a nipple connector on the bottom of this enclosure cover. On each side of RainStick's bottom enclosure is a pivot joint. Much like putting in a cabinet, you're going to locate these joints and allow them to fall into place. Be careful to remove the footspout or lift the footspout out of your way during this process. Take the gray reservoir plug and place it inside of the reservoir. It is normal to see a small opening underneath this plug. Place the reservoir cover on top of the reservoir and you're set. With the bottom enclosure closed, slide and position the footspout into place. Be sure to guide the hoses into RainStick without any kinks or pinching. Ensure that the bottom enclosure is fully closed and then secure the footspout in place using the provided screws. Follow the labels and connect both A wires and both B wires together, ensuring that the main controller is connected to RainStick on the wall. Reattach the front enclosure using the 4 screws found in the hardware bed. Place the end of the hose onto the footspout and turn clockwise until it's tight. Press the button on the top of the controller to switch water flow to the handheld shower, and again to turn off or on and go back to the previous shower mode. Finally, attach the shower arm to the top of the RainStick by sliding in the hinge and using the screws provided to connect the two components together. Route the two water lines into the shower arm. The black water line should go through the opening in the arm. The gray water line connects to the shower head connector provided. Screw in the shower head connector using the screws provided and attach the shower head by turning it clockwise and route the water lines to complete the installation. I hope this video was helpful during your RainStick install. If you have any questions about the installation, please do not hesitate to contact support@rainstickshower.com.